Good evening. Happy Monday. This is a new filing for Chile Decastro. This is plaintiff's motion for reconsideration of motion to correct or alternative action and for extension of time to respond to counterclaim. Plaintiff's motion for reconsideration of motion to correct or alternatively leave to file the motion nunc pro tunc with clarification. Nunc pro tunc means now for then. I see this on all the judicial counsel forms for judgments of dissolution. One of the boxes you can check is for a nunc pro tunc entry of dissolution. It means now for then. It's like if you should have gotten the judgment a month ago, you can request that the court, the judge is the court, you can request that the court enter the judgment nunc pro tunc for that earlier date. So even though the judge is signing it today, like November 21st, the judge signs it November 21st, but it should have been entered, judgment should have been entered on October 21st, so he'll sign it nunc pro tunc, today's date for that 1 month earlier date. With clarification, I, plaintiff Jose Decastro, hereby moves this honorable court to reconsider its denial of my motion to correct, docket number 59, as moot. So the court had denied his motion to correct because he had filed a first amended complaint. He said, the motion to correct was to enter his notice of voluntary dismissal nunc pro tunc, as in he wanted to enter his notice of voluntary dismissal on November 6th instead of when it was actually entered, which was on like November 9th or 10th. So his motion to correct the record was he was requesting that the court essentially backdate that notice of voluntary dismissal to the 6th, which would give it the force and effect of dismissing the case without prejudice. Now, once he filed his first amended complaint, which was stupid of him if this was actually his plan to go forward with the motion to correct, once he filed his first amended complaint, the court was like, oh, you're telling the court by filing your first amended complaint, which you didn't have to file. You did not have to file that. But by doing that, you're telling the court, I actually want to stay here because now you've filed a new complaint, again, alleging jurisdiction and venue. Again, saying, as the plaintiff, I want this case heard here. That's what he did by filing that first amended complaint. He told the court, you know what? I want to be here. And so the court mooted his request. Essentially, it was a request to dismiss. The court mooted it, said, oh, your request to dismiss is moot because you have once again voluntarily submitted to the jurisdiction of this court. You voluntarily submitted to it again. So obviously you don't want to leave. The aforementioned motion, again with aforementioned, I don't know why he does that, was clearly requesting a nunc pro tunc correction to correct this court's error, which would make my first amended complaint moot instead of the other way around. So it went from this honorable court to the court's error. And boy, it's just amazing how the culpability is just shifting so hard. It's going from Chile probably effed up in the emails to the clerk to, well, maybe there was an issue with PACER, with ECF, to all of a sudden now the court effed up. And again, see how he has court capitalized? When you say the court with a capital C, you're actually referring to the judge. The judge is the court. So when he moves this honorable court, he's saying basically, I'm moving the judge, I'm moving you, judge, to reconsider my motion. And when he says court's error, he's saying that the judge made the mistake. The judge made the mistake. Boy howdy. Not the most political way of getting the court to do what you want. I mean, you could totally be an ass, and there's nothing preventing you from being an ass. It is your right as a plaintiff to be an ass. But, I mean, you might not get what you want. But he might. He is a pro se litigant, and the court, despite its track record of being fairly unhappy with the way Chile's doing things, the court might be like, look, dude, like, no, you did this to yourself. You get to live with it. I know what you're trying to do, and you're being dumb. So you get to live with your First Amendment complaint having been filed in this court, and we're moving forward with your First Amendment complaint. In the alternative, I move that this court grant me the leave to file an amended motion to complaint or motion to correct, dated nunc pro tunc, to the original filing date of the aforementioned motion to correct, clarifying that the motion to correct is requesting a nunc pro tunc correction. This sentence right here is basically saying, court, your honor, I think you're so stupid, I don't think you realized that what I was asking you to do was to enter my notice of voluntary dismissal on the 6th, even though the court received it on the 9th. You're so stupid, your honor, that I need to get leave to correct my previously filed motion to correct, to lay it out for you in Latin so that you properly understand what I was asking for. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. Plaintiff's motion for extension of time to respond to counterclaim. I hereby move this honorable court. So that's kind of weird that we don't have any like authority or anything like that. It's just, hey, can I do this? But okay, I mean, he's a pro se litigant. But we've moved on now to his motion for extension of time to respond to counterclaim. This he'll probably get. Anytime he asks for an extension of time, like if it's your first time, the court's probably going to be like, yeah, okay, sure, here you go. Just like the court did for Kate and Josh. It's pretty much pro forma. You ask for it, you're going to get it the first time out of the gate. I hereby move this honorable court, it's an honorable court again, to grant an extension of time to allow for at least 21 days after pending dispositive motions, including the motion to correct the record, are decided. I have not prepared a response with the understanding that time was not being told. I have not prepared a response with the understanding that the time was not being told. If the time is being told, that means that basically, like if you have 21 days to do something, if it's told, like let's say that there's an outbreak of, I don't know, monkeypox, and the courts have to close down for like 10 days, and the court issues an order saying, hey, we're tolling all pending time limits by 10 days to essentially make up for the time where everything was shut down for monkeypox. That means that like that 10-day stretch in the middle there doesn't count against your 21 days. I hope that makes sense. They did it for COVID. That's why I was using monkeypox. I don't know if monkeypox is still a thing or not. But during COVID, they told the statute of limitations on a lot of things, which means that like if you have 2 years from the date of the injury till you have to file suit, or else you lose your right to file suit. The court was tolling that amount of time. The court told that time by 6 months. So instead of having 2 years to do it, you had essentially 2 years and 6 months, as long as it, never mind. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep into it. So I don't really understand what he's asking for here with the double negative. Best guess would be that he understands that time is not being told, and he has not prepared his response, and so he needs time, I guess. Additionally, I expected any response rendered moot once this court rules in the interest of justice and allows a complete dismissal without prejudice through an order on the authority cited or after an evidentiary hearing on the missing notice of voluntary dismissal filing. That's what you expected, huh? You expected a response to be rendered moot. Okay. The harassment of my legal team by the defendants indicated in my motion for contempt has also affected things. Well, how has it affected things? Is Mark getting a little uncomfortable now that everybody knows where he lives and everybody knows all of his interests and what he looks like and what he sounds like, and everybody's seen his resume? I mean, does that make Mark a little bit uncomfortable? I mean, are you worried about random dudes inviting you out to lunch and saying, "Hey, dude, I'll buy you a nice expensive lunch, and I won't even be a jerk about it, and I won't even bug you on anything"? Just, that's harassment? Weird, man, weird. I filed the amended complaint to clarify things so as not to waste the party's time dealing with the things that were not going to be decided in this action, not the opposite. What is it with this guy? This is now a triple negative. We went from a double negative to a triple negative. You can't double stamp a triple stamp. I filed the amended complaint to clarify things so as not to waste the party's time dealing with the things that were not going to be decided in this action, not the opposite. I filed the amended complaint to clarify things, not the opposite. I did so to not waste the party's time in dealing with things that were outside the scope of this action, or something like that. I don't know. I guess. Conclusion. I will continue to protect my right to appeal this court's error. Dude, nobody cares about your stupid appeal. As described in my MTC, my motion to correct, and its supplemented points and authorities. And will have an appeal option should I fail to win on the merits. If they 12B6 your amended complaint, your first amended complaint, I don't know that a court of appeals is going to be like, "Oh, well, you wanted to file a motion to dismiss." No, I don't see this going anywhere, dude. I don't think anybody's going to be concerned about your appeal. If I'm forced to litigate a copyright claim in this circuit, I will need additional time to serve YouTube with my amended complaint under Local Rule 15.1 to add them as a party. Defendant's permissive counterclaim. This is all one sentence still? If I'm forced to litigate a copyright claim in this circuit, I will need additional time to serve YouTube with my amended complaint under Local Rule 15.1 to add them as a party. I think he meant a period there. I think he meant that to be a period. Okay, and yeah, I'm sure YouTube is quaking in their boots. You add them as a party, they will be out within a matter of 20 days. I would give them 20 days from the date that you serve them to be dismissed as a party, to have a 12B6 motion to dismiss granted and them out. Like, good luck, Chuck. Then he says, defendants' permissive counterclaims, which are required to establish jurisdiction, will be successfully attacked on their lack of jurisdiction, both subject and personal. Well, no, the court has personal jurisdiction over you because you filed your complaint there. When a plaintiff files a complaint in a court, he is giving that court personal jurisdiction over him. So, no, because they're filing a counterclaim, the court has personal jurisdiction over you. Subject matter, I don't think either counterclaim will survive if your complaint is dismissed. I don't believe that either counterclaim is going to survive the jurisdictional limit of $75,000, of over $75,000. But personal jurisdiction, I think that they have. In the interest of justice and saving monies that the defendants claim I'm trying to run up, I pray for my motions leading to a voluntary dismissal be granted. The court has waived the local rule. That's the requirement to meet and confer before filing a motion. The court waived that. And the certificate of service. And that's it. So anyway, there you go. There is a chance that the court will grant his motion to reconsider. This is no chance right here. This part is no chance. This part, there is a chance. It's not a good chance, but there's a chance. I mean, like, definitely less than 50%. Probably less than 25%, but there's a chance, like maybe a 10% chance or something like that. There's a chance. His motion to correct, basically the only way this is going to work, the court isn't going to grant the motion for reconsideration and then subsequently rule on the motion to correct. The court's either going to grant the motion for reconsideration, which turns the denial of the motion to correct into granting the motion to correct, or the court's going to deny the motion for reconsideration. So basically, if the court grants the motion for reconsideration, all that does is it changes the ruling on the motion to correct. And I don't think the court's going to do it, but there's a chance. I think there's a much bigger chance that the court's just going to deny this. As far as the extension of time, I strongly suspect that the court will grant a 21-day extension, or maybe even more. The court might give him 30 days from today. Might give him till like November 21st December 21st or something like that. I could definitely see the court doing that. These are granted liberally. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.